From the KLIF 24/7 newsroom, news and information, 570 AM, 96.3 FM, HD2.
KLIF.
I'm acutely aware of my own imperfections, but I pledge to each of you and to the American people that if I am confirmed, I will do all my powers permit to be a faithful servant of the Constitution and laws of this great nation.
It's Judge Neil Gorsuch. He will be answering questions again today before the Senate hearing for his confirmation, and he is expected to be confirmed eventually for the Supreme Court justice seat vacated by the late Antonin Scalia.
Joining us now to talk about details is a Supreme Court expert and local appellate attorney. Byron Henry is a partner at Scheef and Stone, L.L.P. in Dallas. Good morning, Byron.
Good morning. Glad to be with you.
What the judge says today was mostly scripted, or yesterday was mostly scripted. I guess today starts all the real questioning.
That's right. Today there'll be an opportunity, instead of listening to senators talk and the judge give introductory remarks, for each one of the senators on the Judiciary Committee to ask questions of Judge Gorsuch, and he'll be able to respond to those questions specifically about judicial philosophy, background, and some other things that they'll have on their minds today.
What do you expect to hear from the senators?
Well, it's going to be a tale of two, reviewed by the Republicans on the Judiciary Committee, of course, and then real concerns and questions from those on the left. I think but one thing that both parties share is a question for Judge Gorsuch about how he's going to deal with executive overreach. In other words, does he have the judicial chops to stand up to any branch of government, really? But the real question they want to know, or the answer they want to know, is how will he deal with standing up to an executive, including President Trump, that colors outside the lines, steps outside the authority given to him by the Constitution, and President Trump know that he has the strength and independence to stand to the executive if the executive does step out of bounds. Otherwise, you're going to hear some real criticisms on some of his cases from the left, and some praise for his judicial humility and his public service from the right. And that's kind of the way it'll go back and forth today between the senators.
How about his stance on abortion and those types of issues? Are those going to be still important?
They'll be very important, and of course he will probably invoke the same rule that a lot of judges have invoked and nominees have invoked in the past, going back to Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg in 1993, and then Justice Breyer, and then of course Justices Kagan and Sotomayor, where they don't answer questions about cases that are either pending or issues even that are likely to come before the court. But you will hear some questions about and some concerns about how his views could affect individual rights such as abortion, gay rights. A lot of the Democratic senators have concerns that because he has said publicly and proudly that he is a justice who follows the same judicial philosophy as the late Justice Antonin Scalia regarding constitutional interpretation, does that mean that will lead him to all of the same results as Justice Scalia in some of these cases that are important to them?
Judge Gorsuch has been, of course, extremely well vetted. He's seemingly thought very highly of by members of both parties, and it seems like perhaps the Democrats are going to put up a battle out of obligation, if nothing else. What do you expect to be the end result of all this?
Well, first, you are correct. Judge Gorsuch's credentials are just impeccable, and he has a lot of support from both politicians and judges and former officials from both parties, Democrat and Republican. And so I believe that he'll be probed today and throughout the hearing, but ultimately I believe he will be confirmed. I believe there will be some concern, but I believe after the senators get over the bitterness of the Merrick Garland situation, and if you remember that you're going to hear a lot about that as well, that this is not a legitimate appointee because it should be Judge Merrick Garland, President Obama's appointee, that got the hearing and possibly was confirmed to the court. But once you get through all that, I think the ultimate result is that he will be confirmed. I do not think that Mitch McConnell, the majority leader in the Republican Party, will need to consider scrapping the filibuster and what's called the nuclear option and confirm him with less than 60 votes. That's possible, but I don't see that happening unless there's something groundbreaking that happens in the hearings. But I believe ultimately he will be confirmed one way or another. And the way they're moving, it looks like he'll be confirmed in time to sit for the last round of oral arguments, where there's some big cases in mid to late April.
All right, Byron Henry, thanks for joining us, appellate attorney and partner at Scheef and Stone, L.L.P. in Dallas. It's 7:55. Let's get an update on traffic now with Bill Jackson.